Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Retro Adventures. The end of another week, and the end of another poll. We've got a very definite win for Clones in Space for Paranoia. Now, while I'm a little disappointed that Judgment Day for Judge Dredd didn't win the poll, especially as it spent the entire week just a smidgen behind Clones in Space, I have to say you have chosen wisely. Because Clones in Space is an absolutely classic adventure, one of the funniest ever written, and we're going to have a good time looking through it. Now, as normal, I'll have a look at that on the desktop in just a wee second, and I'll be back at the end of the video with some other channel related stuff and some other poll related stuff. But before that, I'd like to take a moment to talk about my Patreons, who this week have absolutely maxed out their constitution, and a more robust and healthy lot you have never seen. And their contributions to our channel are appreciated so much, as it does help me create these videos and spend longer on them than I normally be able to. Now, if you'd like to join them, and you'd like to gain access to these videos a week early, or you'd like one of the other tiers where you can become a real honest-to-goodness fake Laird of Scotland, or gain access to some of the stuff I've written and other parts of the reading group on librarian status, then the Patreon's linked in the description down below, so if you check that out, it'd be very much appreciated. But anyway, let's have a look at Clones in Space. So, this is Clones in Space. It's for the Paranoia role-playing game. Came out from West End Games in 1986. And it's one of the early adventures. And for me, it's probably the most iconic. Not just because it deals with the Troubleshooters going into space, which allows them to take the absolute mickey out of loads of science fiction, which is kind of my area that I really enjoy. So that's very fun. But also because for such an early adventure, it kind of breaks the rules. So normally, Paranoia is set in Alpha Complex, a nuclear bunker controlled by Friend Computer, after a World War III. Friend Computer was programmed by the US government to fight the commies. Unfortunately, during World War III, its memories have been destroyed and it has no idea what a commie is. So there's lots of paranoia because there's this computer which is controlling every aspect of the people within the bunker's lives, trying to defeat an enemy that it doesn't even know what it is. So, are the people inside it? So, this takes them out of that and into space. So that's one rule. But also, normally the players are playing Troubleshooters. And Troubleshooters have 5 clones. So, because Paranoia's a fast and wacky game where you can get gunned down and killed regularly, and that's kind of the aim of the game, that you've got these 5 extra lives. Your clones get delivered instantly. But because you're going into space, all the clones go along with you. And that adds an absolutely extra layer of hilarity to it. Because not only do you have your player, you've got your 5 backups, but one of the suggestions in the adventure is that you get the other players to play each other's clones. So they can be getting the main person into trouble because their backup clones are doing stupid things. And it really gives an opportunity for everybody to do impressions of one another, to take the mickey out of each other's playing styles. It's an excuse to unleash and attack each other, and that's quite a fun time. Lots of people round a gaming table taking the absolute mickey out of each other. But I haven't even got to the back cover yet, so let's have a look. Clones in Space, a deluxe 48-page adventure, including a trendy solitaire excursion. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of some unenterprising troubleshooters. Their mission to seek out strange new life, new civilizations, and terminate them. To boldly go where no clone has any business going. Welcome once again to the darkly humorous world of Paranoia. Instead of the daily humdrum life or death routine of Alpha Complex, in this adventure the troubleshooters get to do something really exciting. Explore outer space. These eager troubleshooters get to enjoy the exciting, slightly gut-squashing effects of liftoff. The survivors get a lesson in weightlessness, and a few learn about the curious effects of hard vacuum. So much fun hardly seems fair. All this leads to a question. What do you get when you mix together deranged computers and space stations, no relation to a 2001-year-old science fiction flick, ravenous flesh-eating aliens, sneezes and zero-Gs, some low-budget special effects, really impressive extraterrestrials, out to conquer Earth no less, and no less than 36 clones. Answer, a disgustingly fun mess. Clones in Space Docs, 48-page Paranoia adventure for 2 to 6 troubleshooters and a game master. The inside cover is designed as freestanding Game Master screen, no extra charge. There is also an 8-page pull-out section full of useful junk to ignore. including spiffy maps of space stations and spacecrafts. Plus, as a bonus, you get 6 pre-generated Troubleshooter characters. You're welcome. Overwhelming fun for ages 12 and up, we promise. Outer space is asterisked, and it says where the ceiling would be if outside had one. Now, that's part of the fun of it as well. The players are going to space, and of course, they will recognize that they're in space. But the clones themselves have no idea, because their entire lives are alpha complex, and they have no idea there's something outside. So, if your players express knowledge outside, well, that's obviously them being a commie traitor, and they can be terminated. Just more excuses for killing people off. Now, as it said, inside, we've got a small Games Master screen. We've got the pre-generated characters with their stats, so the Games Master can roll randomly for stuff, or secretly for stuff. We've got a bot roster, so different robots that might be encountered. The amusing failure table. The explosive decompression table. So, explosive decompression. What happens when the pressure of the juices and gases inside the body get a little too strong for the body to keep it inside itself. Creates an annoying mess. Internal embolisms, fast freezing, flesh boils away, strangulation, all sorts of fun. We've got PIE Fighter damage table, because we're taking the mickey out of Star Wars here, so instead of TIE Fighters, we've got PIE Fighters as part of it. Space Vehicles Services, skill level 0, and things you can do. And then we've got the adventure itself. Well, the cartoon style of art in Paranoia is represented here, if I can find some, because there seems to be not too much. But these are kind of fun. Anyway, going back to the beginning, we have the introduction, which talks through the different sections of the adventure. Then we have a solitaire clones in space. So the Games Master can play it by themselves, or I suppose they can let other players have fun with it. It's a choose-your-own-adventure style thing. So, if you quickly hide the ancient journal, go to 20. If you jump to attention, go to 30. And I like the way they're randomly numbered. Although it's sequential, so you can easily find things. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 72, 74, 76, 80. They're really just kind of weirdly randomly numbered here. So we've got that, which is kind of nice. Western Games did a lot of this. They did a bunch of it for Star Wars as well, choose your own adventure stuff. I don't know whether it bothered me. I suppose it was something to read on the train home when you'd just bought something. I had to travel up to Glasgow to get stuff, which is about a 40-minute train journey from where I lived. So, a choose your own adventure thing to read on the train home, kind of fun. Get you into the tone of what you bought. Anyway, episode 1/2. Well, the players are instructed by friend computer to bring in somebody who knows things which are so traitorous that if you even meet the person, then you can be sentenced to death. And they've been ordered to meet him and escort him. So they end up getting arrested, but instead of executed, they get sent on another mission into the wild black yonder. Now, as I mentioned, the clones themselves aren't allowed or don't know that anything exists out of Alpha Complex. So when they're going to go into the rocket, they just think it's the experimental elevator. They're just going to a different floor within Alpha Complex. They have no idea there's anything outside, supposedly. But the introduction goes through as they get given out their experimental equipment, which is usually dangerous. And they get assigned with all their clones. People they don't usually meet, as they are the replacement thems. Then they end up on a space station once they've gone up in the elevator. And this is populated by robots, which have kind of broken free of Alpha Complex. They're no longer under the control of friend computer. We're into the section here which has the space ship diagrams, space station diagrams, and the players with their jokey names: Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, John Carter, Kimball. Okay, I don't actually know that one. Doc Morbius, Barbarella, Kimbolki. I don't actually know who that's taking the mickey out of. Another diagram of the space station along with some PIE fighters. Taking the mickey out of Alien here. But as I said, they're on a space station where robots have rebelled. But like Alpha Complex that they're broken away, there's sects within this. So some of them want to return the computer to operation, and they have started up a religion where they believe that the Kirk will return and reactivate the computer, because they've seen Star Trek and they see that he destroys computers. So unknown to the players, who will think that they can get some control over these robots by claiming to be the Kirk, the robots believe that he needs to be sacrificed to bring the computer back. Another platform. This one is filled with scrap bots, which will take the player's equipment apart. Of course, the players have signed for this equipment, so will be responsible for returning it at the end of the adventure, if they should so survive. Then we've got a section where they reach another space platform, and there's a portal through space to a bunch of aliens. The Shmegegi. Really strange aliens, which are wanting to invade Earth. And they're bringing their battle fleet through. So you have to launch these PIE fighters and enter space combat with them. Use the Force, Luker. And ending. What ending? Well, the author of the adventure admits online that he kind of ran out of time. So there isn't an ending to the adventure. There's some suggestions here, but not much. Because basically, you're not really expecting the clones to make through it. They're probably going to die before they get this far. And there's plenty of opportunities, especially with people in rockets with all their clones, that one small explosion just wipes out every chance they've got, destroying all their lives. Now, it's an absolutely hilarious adventure from the way it forces players to interact against each other. This is getting your players to absolutely rip the hell, and it's just so much fun for that. Plus, lots and lots of in-jokes. You know, the Captain Kirk one taking down every computer he meets, and computers fearing him and wanting to sacrifice him because of that. Alien ones, Star Wars ones, it really goes through everything sci-fi up to about 1986. It's a whole load of fun. So, that was Clones in Space, and that won the poll this week with 30% of the vote, which was only a little bit ahead of Judgment Day for the Judge Dredd role-playing game on 24%, which again was only narrowly ahead of Operation Rapid Strike for the Top Secret role-playing game on 21%. Now, lagging behind was Tales from the Ether for Space 1889 on 14%, and Quest for the Unknown for Hackmaster on only 11%. So it's really weird that the winning game was comedy, and the losing game was comedy as well. But, as usual, all of those are cleared out the poll. I'll probably bring some of them back. Judgment Day and Operation Rapid Strike really deserve their time, and they're going to win one of these days. But clearing out for another retro RPG. And I've kind of been a bit lazy this week. I've used things from old polls, so I wouldn't have to look up release dates and all that, and I knew what it'd be just by copying and pasting. So, we've got the one which came in second last time, and a 10-foot poll for Iron Crown Enterprises. And it's a book about what equipment you could use in a dungeon. It's a bit system agnostic, and it'd be lovely to look through that. Then we've got Kraken's Threat Dossier for the Star Wars role-playing game, the West End Games one, from 1997. Absolutely great book, very useful stats in it, and as always, I love talking about Star Wars. Then we've got the Darklands sourcebook for the Lone Wolf role-playing game from 2004. Road Warriors for Deadlands Hell on Earth by Pinnacle, which came out in 1999. Now, I'd love to go back onto some Hell on Earth stuff. It's been a long time since I've covered it. And there's some great stuff in there. It's post-apocalyptic, it's a bit magic, it's a fun setting. And finally, I put in Contenders for the Street Fighter role-playing game from White Wolf in 1995. Now, while I've kind of covered all the Street Fighter stuff before in one video when I very much started off the channel, recently when I went back, it was a very successful video and lots of people liked hearing about it because so many people never heard of the Street Fighter role-playing game. So it'd be nice to go back and have a look at another book, but we shall see which one you select. Another channel related stuff, well, the Discord's linked down below. It's very quiet, but we are chatting away there. I've got a few questions that I'm going to pile in there tonight and see what responses I get. I've got my things which are going up on DriveThruRPG, which I'll link down below as well. But, as always, if you click on that link, then it's an affiliate link, so I'll get a knockback from them for anything else you buy on there. So you'll be helping the channel out just by clicking on the link if you happen to buy anything on DriveThruRPG in the future. But if you want access to absolutely everything, then the librarian status on our Patreon, also linked down below, and you get access to everything as I put it up on DriveThruRPG. I share it with my Patreons of librarian or laird status. But apart from that, RPG Gamer is going along. We've now finished the Bad Batch, statting out every episode. I'm just about to move on to The Mandalorian, but we've got the episodes of Star Wars Visions just coming out, and the Young Jedi Adventures. So I might be doing reviews of those for the next couple of weeks, getting through those. I'm really looking forward to some of those, especially the 4th episode, I think, of Visions, which is done by Aardman, so the Wallace and Gromit people. And the episode title is I Am Your Mother. So it looks like it's got its tongue firmly in its cheek. I want to have a laugh at that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'll talk about it on the rpggamer.org. Anyway, as usual, I think I've waffled on for quite long enough. So thank you very much for watching. As always, most of all, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.